One mammal killed 436 humans and earned a Guinness record. Another kills 25,000 people yearly, outranks leopards, and gets birthday parties thrown in its honor. This is the mammal tier list. The Champawat tiger killed 436 confirmed humans between 1900 and 1907 across Nepal and India, a number that's Guinness verified, making her the single deadliest mammalian serial killer in recorded history. And here's the detail that makes it worse. She didn't choose humans because she wanted to. A previous gunshot shattered 2 of her lower canine teeth, making normal prey impossible to catch. So she quietly pivoted to slower, easier targets, humans, for 7 straight years. Jim Corbett finally shot her on April 11, 1907. A tier. Now the Champawat tiger is off the board, and she set a bar that almost nothing else on this list comes close to matching. Sun bear. This is the world's smallest bear, Hylarctos malayanus, maxing out at around 30 pounds, roughly the size of a large Labrador with anger management issues. And somehow, it is the most aggressive bear species on the planet, the one that looks like a stuffed animal left in the sun too long. In 2008, a single sun bear fatally mauled 2 people across one encounter in Borneo and Sumatra. That outpaces grizzly attack frequency across the same range, despite the sun bear being roughly 1/5 the grizzly size. The smallest bear on the list, the highest attack rate per capita. C tier. White-tailed deer, America's most hunted animal, 30 million strong across the US, causes roughly 200 human deaths every single year. Through your windshield, the NHTSA tracks 1.5 million deer vehicle collisions annually, costing $8.8 billion in property damage. From an animal whose face is on children's bedroom curtains. The thing is, no nature documentary has ever opened with. And here, in the suburbs of Pennsylvania, the white-tailed deer claims another victim on the I-78. Freak accident tier. Somehow, A tier. African buffalo. Professional hunters don't call it the Black Death as a compliment. The Cape buffalo, Cincerus caffer, kills an estimated 200+ people per year across sub-Saharan Africa. A single bull weighs up to 1,750 lbs, can hit 35 mpf, and carries horns that fuse into a solid bone helmet across the forehead called a boss. It has never been domesticated, not once. Every other African Big Five animal has had at least a partial domestication attempt. The buffalo just apparently declined the meeting. But here's the thing that separates it from everything we've covered so far. The buffalo circles back, gets shot, retreats into dense brush, waits, then ambushes the hunter following its blood trail. That's not defensive instinct, that's a grudge. The deer kills you by accident. The buffalo kills you on purpose after planning it. B tier. Obviously, everyone's laughing at the hyena for eating someone else's scraps, and apparently nobody told them about the 1,100 side jaw. The spotted hyena, Crocuta crocuta, has the strongest bite force of any mammal its size on Earth, actually measurably, bone-crushingly strongest. In Ethiopia and Tanzania, documented fatal attacks run into the dozens annually. Then a 2004 IUCN cited study in Malawi recorded 27 fatal hyena attacks in a single district in under 2 years. The thing is, hyenas don't just scavenge. They run coordinated pack hunts, clock 37 MPA, and have been documented dragging sleeping people from their tents at night. The laughing sound they make, nervous communication under stress. They're literally laughing at you while they plan it. C tier on reputation, a tier on execution. Now, here's where the list gets genuinely uncomfortable. The domestic dog, 900 million of them worldwide, 150 billion global pet industry. Calendars, therapy programs, emotional support certifications, the whole thing. And the WHO 2018 Global Rabies Report quietly notes that dogs are responsible for 59,000 human deaths per year, 95% of them in Asia and Africa. India alone logs approximately 20,000 dog bite rabies deaths annually. That's more than most active war zones rack up in the same period. This isn't a wolf. It's not a feral predator. It's the animal sleeping on your couch right now, wearing a sweater your aunt bought it for Christmas. 4.5 million Americans get bitten every year. 800,000 need actual medical attention. Man's best friend is also the single biggest rabies vector in human history. C tier in self-awareness, S tier in body count. The Wolverine, gulo, maxes out at roughly 40 lbs, making it the smallest mammal on this entire list with a confirmed unprovoked adult human kill. And yet its dentition can crush frozen bone solid. In 2003, a Manitoba trapper was fatally wounded by a wolverine in a documented, unprovoked encounter. Apparently, a creature the size of a medium house cat deciding a full-grown human was a problem worth solving. 40 pounds of documented homicide. C tier in body weight. Surprisingly not. C tier in results. The sperm whale, Physeter macrocephalus, holds the most dramatic resume reversal on this list. Whaling records from the 18th and 19th centuries document at least 8 ships rammed and sunk by sperm whales in deliberate, repeated charges. The 1820 sinking of the Essex, the real event, Melville fictionalized into Moby Dick, killed 7 of 20 crew members adrift in the open Pacific. Not from the initial strike, from the aftermath. They survived the whale and then died of thirst and each other. Modern documented sperm whale kills, essentially 0. A 60-foot, 60-ton apex animal that once sank wooden vessels quietly decided humans weren't worth the effort. That is either evolution, wisdom, or profound disappointment in us, the sharpest behavioral reversal on this list. And somehow, the whale is the one that matured. C tier, historically terrifying, currently retired. Now polar bears. 26,000 of them are left on Earth, and yet Ursus maritimus has still racked up at least 73 confirmed human kills since 1870 per the IUCN Polar Bear Specialist Group. In 2011, a polar bear dragged a British schoolboy from his tent on a Svalbard expedition and killed him. The thing is, this species is endangered and still finds time to eat us. B tier, rare, focused, and apparently not concerned about optics. Now, the leopard, and this is where things get genuinely unsettling. The leopard, Panthera pardus, kills 12 to 15 people per year in Uttarakhand alone, one state, and that's the modern conservation era number with rangers, cameras, and intervention teams active. Wind back to the early 1900s, and a single leopard, the Panthera leopard, documented by Jim Corbett, racked up 400 confirmed human kills across the Kumaon hills of northern India. And the thing is, leopards are the most adaptable big cat on Earth. They hunt at night, silently, and specifically target isolated individuals. This isn't opportunistic panic behavior. The Panthera leopard's record isn't a freak accident. It's a sustained, deliberate campaign. A 130-pound cat with a 4th-century confirmed body count and a habit of working near human settlements. A tier. Now we're stepping up to a different weight class entirely, and I mean that literally. The elephant, African or Asian, is the largest land animal on Earth. A bull, African elephant tips the scales at 13,000 lbs, stands 13 feet tall, and has a memory scientists still don't fully understand. They mourn their dead, they paint. They apparently star in sanctuary Instagram reels that get 4 million views from people who would absolutely be dead if they got within charging distance. Here's the thing. India's Ministry of Environment logged exactly 500 elephant-related human deaths in fiscal year 2022 alone. That's 50 times the annual tiger kill count for the same period. The animal India built an entire conservation mythology around. The WWF and IUCN put the continental total at roughly 500 per year across Africa and Asia combined. And these aren't freak collisions. Elephants charge deliberately. Bulls and muth are chemically aggravated and will hunt movement. Human-elephant conflict corridors in Jharkhand and Odisha see repeat attacks in the same villages, year after year. They remember every human who ever wronged them. The circus animal has a 500-person annual body count. S tier. 600 million domestic cats worldwide, marketed as anxiety relief, sold in hospital waiting rooms, deployed in nursing home therapy programs. And quietly, the CDC logs 12,000 Americans infected with cat scratch disease every single year. 500 hospitalizations annually from Bartonella henselae, a bacteria your cat carries under its claws like it's nothing. They're also the #1 non-dog rabies exposure source in the United States, generating more post-exposure treatments than any other domestic animal. The therapy animal is apparently also a stealth biohazard. See tier. Grizzly bears, Ursus arctos horribilis, which translates to horrifying bear, which is not subtle. North America's apex ursid, 231 lbs of bite force landing at 1,200 psi, strong enough to crush a bowling ball like it owes money. Yellowstone NPS records show 8 grizzly-caused human deaths inside the park between 1980 and 2022. 8 kills across 42 years sounds manageable until you check the file on Brad Treat. August 2016, experienced backcountry cyclist found by search and rescue partially consumed. The NPS investigation confirmed it. Predatory attack, not a defensive surprise encounter. One case that quietly rewrote every "just make noise on the trail" safety pamphlet in the American West. The thing is, defensive maulings still outnumber predatory kills 4 to 1. B tier. Let's move up the body count ladder and do it with an animal that is technically a herbivore. The hippo. Hippopotamus amphibius. It eats grass, it weighs 3,000 lbs, and it kills an estimated 500 or more people per year across sub-Saharan Africa, more than every African predator that actually has teeth designed for meat. The jaw is 4 feet wide. It exerts 1/800 psi of bite force. For context, that is roughly 50% more than a grizzly from an animal that just ate some reeds 20 minutes ago. And then there's the 2014 Niger River incident. A canoe, 13 people, 1 hippo charge. Nigerian authorities documented the whole thing. The hippo didn't stalk them, circle back, or strategize. It just decided that boat was too close to its water, and that was apparently everyone's problem now. The thing is, hippos don't kill you out of hunger or predatory instinct. They kill you out of inconvenience, which is somehow worse. You were just in the wrong river on the wrong Tuesday, and the most dangerous herbivore on the continent made a snap decision. S tier for casual lethality. The African lion, the animal on every coat of arms, national flag, and every luxury hotel lobby. The symbol of noble power. And it kills roughly 250 people a year. Panthera leo averages that body count across sub-Saharan Africa annually, per IUCN 2021 data. But the thing is, that number isn't random. Lions don't just stumble into these incidents. Tanzania's Rufiji district had a coordinated problem. A specific group of man-eating lions killed 35 people between 2002 and 2004 alone. Wildlife authorities had to launch a full removal campaign. And then there's the Tsavo man-eaters. 1898, 2 male lions, a British colonial railway project in Kenya. They killed 35 confirmed workers over 9 months, halting construction entirely and forcing 135-mile evacuations of labor crews. Colonel John Henry Patterson eventually shot both. Their pelts are currently on display at the Field Museum in Chicago, which is somehow the most civilized ending possible for 2 animals that basically held a railroad hostage. The most culturally celebrated predator on Earth. Children's movies. Still quietly running a confirmed serial predation record documented across multiple continents. A tier. So we've already covered lions, leopards, elephants, and yet somehow the Bengal tiger still has its own lane. Because Jim Corbett alone documented over 1,200 tiger-caused human deaths between 1900 and 1930. Modern India still logs 50 to 80 tiger kills per year according to the National Tiger Conservation Authority's annual reports. The country has roughly 3,700 wild tigers left, and animal conservationists fought hard to save from extinction, and it's still averaging more than 1 confirmed human kill per week. The thing is, Bengal tigers are not fringe man-eaters with 1 documented incident between them. They are the most historically documented serial human predators of any big cat species, with an individual record that no other animal on this list comes anywhere close to matching. The species that launched 1,000 conservation campaigns and still posts a confirmed body count every 12 months. S tier. Gray wolf. the most mythologized predator in European folklore, the subject of fairy tales, conservation campaigns, rewilding manifestos, and approximately 10,000 wolves are misunderstood. TED Talks. And then a 2002 Norwegian Institute for Nature Research review quietly cataloged 3,000 fatal wolf attacks across Europe between 1950 and 2000. Then in 2011, a 10-year-old girl was killed by a wolf in Azerbaijan, the first confirmed European fatal wolf attack in 50 years, reigniting a debate the rewilding lobby had apparently already declared, settled, signed, and filed away. The thing is, the wolf's reputation was rebuilt almost entirely on the assumption that historical attack records were exaggerated folklore. 3,000 deaths in 50 years suggests somebody did the math wrong. This guy went from fairy tale villain to conservation mascot to confirmed killer, and somehow the mascot part stuck. C tier. Texas calls feral hogs a 52 million a year pest problem. That's the brand. Annoying, muddy agricultural nuisance. But a 2019 review in Wilderness and Environmental Medicine cataloged 412 wild boar attacks across 18 countries between 2000 and 2019 with a 15% fatality rate. That's comparable to bear attacks. And in Uttarakhand, India, 2017-18 field reports ranked the wild boar the single deadliest wildlife species to humans in the entire state. The animal that lost to Porky Pig cartoons was outpacing leopards on the kill board. The thing is, nobody's scared of a hog. It's 200 pounds of aggressive, tusked, poorly understood aggression that charges without provocation and somehow still gets filed under pest control rather than predator. Apparently, the hog didn't get that memo. C tier. Jaguar, Panthera unca, South America's most powerful big cat, and technically, it has no verified man-eating tradition, which sounds like good news until you read the Funai field reports. Between 2015 and 2020, documented jaguar attacks on humans in Brazil's Pantanal increased by 40%. Deforestation shrank the prey base, the jaguars got hungry, and they apparently started doing the math. Then in 2019, a riverside fisherman in Tocantins state was killed in his hammock. The method, a precise cranial bite, was identical to documented man-eating leopard behavior. The thing is, jaguars aren't currently serial human killers, but every established man-eater started with one incident in 1 year in one region that nobody was watching closely enough. Tocantins was watching. B tier for now. Black bear, Ursus americanus, named after the species that inspired the teddy bear, which, yes, is a real origin story. President Theodore Roosevelt refused to shoot a bear that had been tied to a tree on a hunting trip in 1902. Someone drew a cartoon about it, and now every toddler sleeps next to one. And then between 2000 and 2016, black bears killed 63 people across North America. Here's what separates them from grizzlies, which most people consider the actually dangerous bear. Grizzly attacks are overwhelmingly defensive. You surprised her, you got too close, she has cubs. Black bear attacks are almost never defensive. When a black bear kills a human, the Kniat 2016 review found it's almost always predatory, meaning the bear located a human, identified them as prey, and hunted them actively. The thing is, black bear country covers most of North America. They wander into campgrounds, suburban backyards, and state parks that families visit specifically because they seem manageable. They weigh up to 600 lbs, run at 35 mph, and apparently decided at some point that looking approachable was just good strategy. In 2014, a black bear killed a jogger in New Jersey, a state with 22 million people, which sounds like a statistical impossibility until it isn't. The teddy bear origin story gets darker every time you think about it. C tier, with the specific note that a C tier predatory hunter still found 63 people. Subscribe to the channel for more tier lists like this. See you next time.